When I was little, a newborn baby died in the village. The child's family reported it to the police, and they recovered the baby's bones from the well at the village entrance. No one knew what happened to the child's flesh. My grandma said, "That poor child." My grandpa took a sip of wine and grumbled, "Poor, what's there to pity? If one dies, you have another. It's not that big of a deal, why call the police?" My grandpa picked up another piece of fatty pork, dipped it in soy sauce with garlic, and put it in his mouth. I swallowed, my eyes glued to the plate of braised pork with pickled mustard greens. The dish was right in front of my grandpa, who was eating ravenously. Grandma and I only got pickled vegetables. Grandpa wouldn't let us touch the pork. Grandma whispered, "It's a child, their parents' flesh and blood, not an animal." Grandma didn't dare to openly contradict Grandpa. They had been married for decades, and Grandpa always ruled this house. Grandpa snorted coldly, continuing to drink. After eating and drinking his fill, Grandpa leaned back, sprawled on the wooden sleeping platform. I saw a piece of meat left on the plate, so I picked up my chopsticks and put it into my bowl. Just as I was about to eat it, Grandpa sprang up, snatched my bowl, and dumped the piece of meat onto the ground. "Better for the dog than for you." Blackie, our black dog, carried the meat away. My hands clenched, wanting to resist but not daring to. Grandma quickly said, all right, eat your rice, child." Grandpa bellowed, "Eat what? Get out of my sight, you're an eyesore." I put my chopsticks down and ran out to the yard. Grandma was a concubine. My dad wasn't Grandpa's biological son, only my uncle was. I squatted by the wall, wiping away my streaming tears. Blackie, who had just eaten the meat, ran over, wagging its tail happily. I stroked its head. "Blackie, I want to go to the town to find Mom." No sooner had I spoken than I saw the village chief leading 2 police officers into the yard. Grandma stepped out of the house, forcing a smile. "Village chief, officers, what brings you here?" The village chief said. "Zhao Qiang's child went missing on June 8th. That day, Grandpa's son was at the Zhao family's house. The police are here to investigate. Call Grandpa's son out." My grandpa staggered out. "You reek of alcohol, officers. What do you want to ask?" I went to Zhao Qiang's house to borrow a shovel. I borrowed it and came straight back. The whole trip there and back took less than 20 minutes. Grandma brought out chairs and invited them to sit. "Please, officers, have a seat." "Thank you, ma'am." The speaker was a young officer who looked fresh out of college. The officer next to him, around 40, was named Detective Liu Wenyang from the county office. Detective Liu asked, "When you went to borrow the shovel, did you see any children?" My grandpa frowned. "No, I waited in the yard, didn't even go inside." Detective Liu said, "I'm not asking if you went inside, I'm asking if you saw the child." My grandpa snapped, "If I didn't go inside, how could I see? Are you trying to pick a fight?" Detective Liu was originally from this village. His father was murdered, but the killer was never found. That year, the most suspicious person was my grandpa, but without evidence, Grandpa was acquitted. Grandma pulled Grandpa's arm, urging him to speak respectfully. The village chief reminded him, "Grandpa, son, please cooperate." My grandpa glared at the village chief. "Cooperate with what? I've said it clearly. Keep asking is just intentionally causing trouble." After saying that, my grandpa walked into the house and slammed the door shut. Grandma quickly explained, "Please understand, officers, he's very stubborn." The village chief knocked on the door. "Grandpa, son, open the door." "The police haven't finished questioning you yet. If you don't cooperate, we'll arrest you right now." Detective Liu patted the village chief's shoulder. "Please don't knock anymore, I've asked enough. Now please lead us to check other houses." Although he said that, Detective Liu's eyes still scanned our yard as if searching for clues. The village chief glanced at the 2 officers and nodded. "All right, I'll lead you, comrades," Grandma politely said. "Let me see you out." Detective Liu smiled. "No need to be so polite, ma'am." To others, he seemed very gentle, but only my grandpa received such cold treatment. Grandma patiently saw them out anyway. Detective Liu waved his hand. "Please go back inside, ma'am." Just then, Blackie, our dog, suddenly vomited undigested meat, which landed at my feet. It bent down to lick it up, but I stopped it. "Don't eat it, it's dirty." From a distance, Detective Liu's sharp voice echoed. "Ma'am, you have a dog and you feed it meat?" Grandma forced a laugh. "It's just meat that fell on the ground." Detective Liu turned back, walked over, picked up the meat, and put it into a plastic bag. Grandma inquired, "Officer Liu, is there a problem?" He replied coldly, "Just routine checks." My grandpa burst out of the house, kicked Blackie hard, cursing it as an animal. Blackie yelped mournfully and hid behind me. My grandpa grabbed a shovel, swinging it up. "I'll kill this dog and make it into stew right now." The village chief snatched the shovel away. "Grandpa, son, are you crazy?" My grandpa snorted, turning to Detective Liu. "Is it illegal to kill my own dog? You're done with your investigation, so get out." The village chief shouted, "What kind of language is that, old man?" My grandpa pointed directly at the officer. "Are you trying to take my pork as fake evidence? You really want to frame me?" The village chief threw the shovel to the ground. "Don't argue so stubbornly. Officer Liu is just doing his duty. Anyone who visited Zhao Qiang's house on June 8th is being investigated, including Zhang Lin and Xiao Liang." My grandpa's face turned beet red, and he fell silent. The village chief quickly waved his hand, inviting Officer Liu to check other houses. Detective Liu nodded, and the group left. My grandpa grumbled, "What could they find from pork?" In the evening, Xiao Liang suddenly came to our house. When he entered the room, the whole family was having dinner. Grandma said, "Xiao Liang, you're here. Let me get you a bowl and chopsticks. Have dinner with us." Xiao Liang smiled. "Indeed, I haven't eaten yet, so may I join you?" He sat down at the head of the table, his face still smiling. I didn't like Xiao Liang. He was a loafer, extremely lazy, and his family was dirt poor. He often drank with Grandpa, and every time he got drunk, he would act crazy, mumbling all sorts of nonsense. He was over 30 and still unmarried. A few months ago, he was even arrested for solicitation. My grandpa said, "Bring out the wine, let's drink, nephew." Grandma brought new bowls, chopsticks, and a bottle of wine. Grandpa poured himself a drink and then handed the bottle to Xiao Liang. "Pour your own." Xiao Liang shook his head. "Uncle, I can't drink today." "I came for something important," my grandpa scoffed. "What important matter do you have? You just came to my house to freeload. Van, pour a drink for Uncle Liang." I took the wine bottle, intending to pour. Xiao Liang didn't stop me but asked, "Uncle, did Detective Liu come to your house today?" My grandpa replied, "Yes." Xiao Liang frowned. "He also stopped by my place." My grandpa took a sip of wine, laughing. "It's nothing, he couldn't find anything." Xiao Liang paused for a few seconds, then turned to look at Grandma and me. Grandma picked up food, bowing her head and eating as if deaf. My grandpa said, "The child wasn't kidnapped by us. What is he investigating?" Xiao Liang nodded, took a sip of wine. "That's right, what are we afraid of? In my opinion, the most suspicious person is Zhang Lin. Last month, Zhang Lin went to Zhao Qiang's house to borrow money, was chased away, and cursed badly." No sooner had Xiao Liang finished speaking than Zhang Lin's roar echoed from outside the window. "Shut your filthy mouth!" Xiao Liang jumped, his chopsticks clattering to the ground. Zhang Lin stormed into the house, threw his hat onto the wooden platform, and lunged straight at Xiao Liang. Though over 40, Zhang Lin was tall and muscular, easily grabbing Xiao Liang by the collar and lifting him. "What did you just say?" Xiao Liang seemed to have lost his soul, staring blankly at Zhang Lin, unable to speak. My grandpa spoke up. "All right, let him go. He just misspoke. It's not like he's being convicted, so why be afraid?" Zhang Lin snorted, released him, and shouted, "If you dare to slander me again, watch out." My grandpa suddenly slammed his hand on the table. "The fire's almost out. Are you still sitting here eating?" This was directed at Grandma. Grandma stood up. "I'll go to the yard to chop wood. Everyone just keep drinking. Call me if you need anything." With that, Grandma pulled me outside. The door slammed shut. Grandma instructed, "Van, don't go into the room, play in the yard." Obediently, Grandma went to do her chores. I squatted by the wall, playing with Blackie. Late that night, Zhang Lin and Xiao Liang finally left the house. Xiao Liang was completely drunk, unable to stand steadily, and had to lean on Zhang Lin for support. My grandpa urged, "Be careful on your way home." Xiao Liang guffawed, "Don't worry, uncle, I'm as sober as a bird." He patted his stomach and continued, "I'm so craving young goat meat. Why isn't anyone having babies in this whole village? I'm starving to death." It was pitch dark, but I could still clearly see Grandpa's expression turn annoyed. "He's rambling again, hurry and take him home." Zhang Lin clapped a hand over Xiao Liang's mouth and snapped, "You drunken ghost, sober up a bit." Xiao Liang was very afraid of Zhang Lin, nodding vigorously. The two stumbled, supporting each other as they left. Only 3 of us remained in the house. My grandpa sat on the wooden platform, smoking his pipe and humming a tune, a smug look on his face. "What a great drink today." With that, Grandpa collapsed and fell asleep. The next morning, the whole village was buzzing with news that Xiao Liang had drowned in the well at the village entrance. Villagers crowded around, his bloated and foul-smelling body was retrieved. Beside Detective Liu were a few more police officers and likely a forensic doctor. The police dispersed the crowd. Back home, Grandma worried. Why did Zhao Liang die such a wrongful death? He was so healthy just yesterday. My grandpa scoffed. If the king of hell wants you, you'll die even at the third watch of the night. His time was up. I was well educated and didn't believe such superstitions. Just then, Detective Liu led Officer Yang into the yard. Grandma was about to greet them, but Grandpa roared, "Sit still." Detective Liu walked in and asked, "What time did Zhao Liang leave your house yesterday?" Grandma replied, "Around 2 a.m. He was too drunk. Zhang Lin had to take him home." My grandpa quickly interjected. "Zhao Liang came to eat and drink on his own. No one invited him. What does his death have to do with my family? You should investigate Zhang Lin." Those two argued fiercely. Why did they argue? Childish matters. Zhang Lin went to Zhao Qiang's house to borrow money, didn't get it, and was cursed. 3 days later, Zhao Qiang's child went missing. On June 8th, Zhang Lin again went to the Zhao family's house. Zhao Liang suspected Zhang Lin killed the child, and he started rambling when he drank. Just then, Zhang Lin came over and heard him. They almost came to blows. Luckily, I stopped them in time. Grandma nodded in confirmation. Detective Liu was silent, his eyes full of suspicion. He turned to look at me. "Child, is your grandpa telling the truth?" My grandpa bristled. He and his grandma were standing in the yard. What would they know? Detective Liu ignored him, bent down, and asked me again, "Tell me the truth, child." I shook my head. "My grandpa is lying." No sooner had I spoken than my grandpa leaped down from the wooden platform, raising his hand to slap me. Luckily, Detective Liu quickly stopped him. "What are you trying to do, sir?" I hid behind Detective Liu, my eyes never leaving my grandpa. Grandpa's face was pale with rage, and he roared, "You brat, you dare to lie, I'll skin you alive." Grandma said, "Child, you mustn't make things up." I insisted, "I'm not lying." Last night, while playing by the wall, I heard the three of them arguing with my own ears. More precisely, my grandpa was arguing with Zhang Lin and Zhao Liang. Detective Liu glanced, signaling Officer Yang, who immediately stood in front of me, telling Grandpa to keep order. My grandpa yelled, "Officer, he's just a 7-year-old child, what does he know? Don't believe his words." Detective Liu didn't reply, but led me out to the yard. He squatted down and asked softly, "Child, what did you hear? What did you see? Don't be afraid, tell Uncle everything." I glanced into the room. My grandpa was pressed against the window, glaring at me, his eyes bloodshot as if he wanted to devour me. Detective Liu turned his head in the direction of my gaze and suggested, "Let's go, let's talk outside the gate." This time, we went all the way outside the yard, and my grandpa was nowhere to be seen. I whispered, "Last night I heard the three of them arguing. I was by the wall then." Detective Liu asked why they were arguing. I replied, "Because of my uncle." Detective Liu's eyes showed a hint of doubt. I explained, "My uncle is 31 this year. He's been married to Aunt Li for 5 years but hasn't had a child." Zhao Liang told my grandpa to buy young goat meat for uncle to eat as a tonic, hoping it would help him have a child. Zhang Lin also chimed in, mainly criticizing uncle for being weak, saying he was sick. My grandpa got so angry that he argued with them. Detective Liu frowned. "Young goat meat?" I nodded vigorously. "My family has never bought young goat meat. I don't know where they ate it." Detective Liu patted my head. "Thank you, child." He stood up and went back into the yard. A few minutes later, I saw my grandpa being escorted away by the police. My grandpa screamed, "You wait, when I get back, I'll kill you." Officer Yang shouted, "Move quickly." My grandpa was led away, leaving only Grandma and me in the house. Grandma looked at me, full of sorrow, pulling me into her embrace. "How dare you speak so carelessly?" I protested. "I was telling the truth," Grandma sighed. "When Grandpa's son comes back, he'll kill you." I asked, "Will he even be able to come back?" Grandma hesitated. After a while, she nodded. "He didn't kill anyone." I clasped Grandma's hand. "Grandma, you know something, don't you? Is it about Zhao Liang or the dead child?" Grandma shook her head. "Neither. I don't believe you." "It can't be." Grandma closed her eyes and sighed. "The child was taken by old Mrs. Zhao. I accidentally saw it, who knew she would harm her own grandchild." The old Mrs. Zhao Grandma mentioned was Zhao Qiang's biological mother, an extremely wicked person. But why would she harm her own grandchild? Grandma slowly stood up. "The police aren't fools. Old Mrs. Zhao will surely be arrested." Detective Liu probably took Grandpa to question him about Zhao Liang's case. Grandpa will be released soon. I clenched my fists. He must not come back. I have to find Detective Liu. "Don't go." Grandma tightly gripped my wrist, her eyes expressing a complex emotion. Grandma said, He didn't kill anyone. What are you going to do to him? I replied. Grandma, when he was braising the meat, I saw it. I have to find Detective Liu. Grandma frowned tightly. What did you see? I saw. Before I could finish, hurried footsteps sounded. Aunt Lee from the house next door ran in, panting. Sister, the case is solved. Grandma looked confused. Which case? Zhao Qiang's daughter was killed by old Mrs. Zhao. That old woman dared to harm her own grandchild, and she's been arrested. Grandma froze for a few seconds. How pitiful. Aunt Lee nodded repeatedly. Old Mrs. Zhao wanted a grandson, forcing her daughter-in-law to have one. The daughter-in-law refused, so she threw the baby to the ground, killing it. Grandma sighed. Truly tragic. Aunt Lee sat on the wooden platform, took out sunflower seeds from her pocket, and ate while talking. Zhao Qiang's house is like a pigsty now. The wife's relatives have come over and are fighting fiercely. Grandma frowned in silence. That wicked old woman, after killing her grandchild, she even did such cruel things to the body. Isn't she afraid the child's vengeful spirit will come back? Grandma shook her head. Killing the grandchild is already too much. She wouldn't dare to do cruel things to the body. Aunt Lee's eyes widened in surprise. You mean old Mrs. Zhao didn't do it? I nodded. The whole village is surrounded by fields. If you want to hide a body, just dig a hole and bury it. Why go to such lengths? Aunt Lee slapped her thigh. You're right, she's evil, but she's also a coward. She wouldn't even dare to kill a chicken. So who did it? It must be Zhao Qiang's enemy. Perhaps it was Zhang Lin. Grandma didn't reply. Aunt Lee raised her voice. The whole village is saying Zhang Lin is the #1 suspect. The case of Xiao Liang's death was also done by Zhang Lin. The two women talked until noon. When it was just Grandma and me, Grandma held my hand. Van, these are adult matters, don't get involved. Everything will become clear in time. Grandma rummaged through the cupboard, took out a metal box of money, and began to pack clothes. I asked, What are you doing, Grandma? Packing. I'm taking you to the county town to find your parents. We can't stay in this village anymore. Understanding, I helped Grandma pack. That night, Grandma hired a car to take our luggage to the county town. After buying train tickets and getting off at the station, Grandma borrowed a phone to call my dad. Dongjiang, Grandma and Van just got off the train. Give us the address so we can stay temporarily. Something happened at home, I'll explain when we meet. We walked over 10 kilometers and finally found my parents' old, dilapidated single-story house. The door was locked from the inside. It was a cramped 12 square meters. We waited until evening for my parents to stumble home. They were covered in dust. My dad was a construction worker and my mom cut steel at the construction site. As soon as Dad saw us, before he could even be happy, he frowned. Why did Mom bring the boy here without asking? The house is so cramped, where will we stay? My mom put a hand on my shoulder, worriedly asking, What happened at home? Grandma said. Grandpa's son was arrested. What? My dad was shocked. He quickly opened the door and we went inside to talk. Grandma glanced at me as if wanting to avoid my presence. I said, Grandma, I know everything. Grandpa's son deserves it. My dad asked, What exactly happened? Grandma recounted the whole story to my parents. After listening, they were furious. He's truly an animal. It's best to lock him up for life. A few days later, news arrived from the village. My grandpa had been arrested, and Grandma was asked to return to the village for a visit. My dad took Grandma back to the village. When they returned to the county town, Grandma looked much thinner. I overheard them discussing the story. Xiao Liang was pushed into the well and drowned by Zhang Lin. My grandpa, Xiao Liang, and Zhang Lin, all three of them were involved in the goat meat incident. My grandpa was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. The villagers hated all three of them to the core. Because of Grandpa's incident, we couldn't stay in the village anymore. Grandma and I had to stay in the county town, renting a temporary place. A year later, the 12 square meter house my parents bought previously was chosen for demolition by the developer, and they received compensation. My parents used that money to buy a 2-bedroom apartment in a more distant area, so we finally had a home in the county town. Another 1.5 years passed, and my grandpa was released from prison. As soon as he was out, he sought out Grandma, telling her to return to the village to care for him. According to my uncle, Grandpa was gravely ill, thin as a stick, looking like he was about to die, and he also had lung disease. Grandma didn't tell anyone, quietly bought a train ticket and returned to the village. It wasn't until she arrived at the old house that Grandma called my parents. My dad told Grandma to come back to the county town. Grandma said, If I don't go back, he'll go to your brother's house and cause trouble. Your sister-in-law is pregnant and about to give birth. I can't let him disrupt things. Anyway, he's sick. I'll stay with him for another 2 years. Don't worry about me, my dad said. Then I'll buy you an easy-to-use phone so we can keep in touch. My dad bought Grandma a phone and called her frequently to check in. 2 months later, Aunt Lee gave birth to a son named Xuen. My parents brought me to Uncle's house. My grandpa and grandma were also there. Grandma's hair had turned completely white, but her face was still radiant with a kind smile. As for my grandpa, his face was sallow, his skin mottled with dark spots, looking like a zombie. From the moment we entered the house, Grandpa kept coughing continuously. I could sense Aunt Lee's disgust for Grandpa, though she didn't show it outwardly. Everyone went into the master bedroom to see Xuen. Grandpa also trailed behind, revealing his yellowed teeth, smiling and saying, "I told you, young goat meat can cure all diseases." Uncle frowned. "Dad, you're rambling again, don't talk nonsense." My grandpa strained his neck. "I'm not rambling, I'm very clear-headed. This house is so big, you can't even fill it all. Your mom and I will stay here to look after the grandchild." Aunt Lee frowned, forcing a smile. "Both Mom and Dad are old now. We can look after the grandchild ourselves." Grandpa didn't reply, just pulled Uncle outside to talk about something. My mom gave Aunt Lee a red envelope and chatted about family matters. My dad visited his grandson and then went to the living room. I followed him. Uncle's house only had 2 bedrooms, too many people couldn't stay. That night, my parents took me to a hotel to rest. The next morning, my parents woke up early to go to the market to buy pig trotters, then took me back to Uncle's house. My dad knocked on the door, and after a while, Uncle opened it. "Brother, sister, you're up so early? Why did you buy so much? We have plenty here." My mom smiled. "I'm going to stew pig trotters soup for Aunt Lee to nourish her after childbirth." Uncle smiled. "You're too kind, sister." Before his smile faded, we heard Aunt Lee scream, Xuen. "Who took Xuen?" Aunt Lee ran out of the master bedroom, her face panicked. "Husband, Xuen slept next to me last night. Where has he gone now? Who took our son?" Last night, Uncle slept on the sofa, Grandpa and Grandma were in the spare bedroom, and Aunt Lee and Xuen were in the master bedroom. Uncle said, "Don't panic, let me check." Uncle rushed into the master bedroom, my parents followed, and indeed, Xuen was nowhere to be seen. Grandpa and Grandma also woke up. Grandma asked, "What's wrong?" Aunt Lee collapsed to the floor, wailing tragically. Xuen is missing." Grandma almost fell, but my dad caught her. "Mom, don't rush, let's call the police." Grandma's bloodshot eyes widened, and she pointed at my grandpa's face. "Was it you? Where did you hide our grandson?" No sooner had she spoken than Grandma lunged forward, grabbing Grandpa by the shoulders and shaking him violently. My grandpa was weak, coughing violently several times, struggling but unable to break free. My grandpa yelled, "What are you saying? What does Xuen's disappearance have to do with me? He's my eldest grandson." Grandma shrieked, "We shouldn't have let you come along, you jinx." Uncle pulled Grandma away. "Mom, calm down, Dad couldn't do that. Let's call the police first." Aunt Lee sat on the floor, sobbing uncontrollably, almost fainting several times. My mom said, "Zio Lee, please stand up. The floor is cold and you're still in confinement. You mustn't catch a cold." My mom and uncle helped Aunt Lee onto the sofa. Grandpa squatted on the floor, coughing continuously. Grandma cursed, get out of here right now." My grandpa replied, "Why should I get out? I didn't lose my grandson." No sooner had Grandpa finished speaking than we heard a knock at the door. "Hello, we're the police." My dad quickly opened the door. 2 uniformed police officers walked in. The taller officer was named Zhang Liang and the darker-skinned one was named Sun Yi. Officer Sun asked, "What time did you discover the child missing?" Aunt Lee sobbed, 8 a.m. Last night at 11 p.m., I gave Xuen milk and he fell asleep immediately. I also fell asleep. But I didn't wake up all night, slept straight until morning. It's so strange. As soon as Aunt Lee finished speaking, Uncle added, "I fell asleep at 1 a.m. I usually dream and wake up once or twice in the middle of the night, but tonight I didn't wake up at all, also slept straight until morning." Officer Sun then looked at my grandpa and grandma. Grandma said, "I didn't wake up either." My grandpa said, "Me too." Grandma glared at Grandpa. "Officer, I suspect Grandpa's son. He has a criminal record." My grandpa yelled, "I didn't do it. He's my biological grandson. Don't make things up, woman." Officer Sun gestured for calm and order. Officer Sun questioned my parents, while Officer Zhang walked around inspecting. He examined the kitchen window. Uncle's house was on the 3rd floor, so if someone climbed through the window, it was possible. Officer Zhang walked into the bathroom and suddenly asked, "When was the bathroom window opened?" Uncle quickly walked over. "I opened the window last night when I went to the bathroom, and I forgot to close it." Aunt Lee shrieked, "Who told you not to close the window? Xuan must have been kidnapped. If someone entered the house, there must have been some movement. Why didn't any of us wake up?" Uncle frowned. Officer Zhang said, "Come downstairs with me, let's check the security cameras at the guard room." Uncle nodded, hastily put on a jacket, and followed Officer Zhang out. Officer Sun asked a few more questions, carefully noting down every detail, then said, "I understand the situation. If there's any progress in the case, we will inform the family immediately." Grandma said, "Thank you, comrade." After Officer Sun left, Grandma suggested that Mom go out to look for Xuan, asking neighbors if anyone had seen anything suspicious recently. My dad stopped her. "Mom, stay home and take care of Aunt Lee. Let Kai Huan and I go look." "No, I have to go find my son too." Aunt Lee's eyes were red. Still in her pajamas, she tried to rush out the door, but Grandma held her back. "Zio Lee, listen. Don't wander around. You're still in confinement, you mustn't catch a cold." Aunt Lee sobbed, "If I can't find Xuan, what's the point of living? Don't stop me." With that, Aunt Lee pushed Grandma away and ran out in her slippers. My parents quickly chased after her. Grandma frowned. "Quickly, bring Zio Lee back into the room to rest." Let me go, I have to find Xuan." Aunt Lee's cries echoed through the hallway. A moment later, exhausted, she was finally helped back into the room by my parents. My mom tried to reason with her. "Zio Lee, stay home and wait. Maybe we'll find Xuan this afternoon. If you get sick, your milk will dry up. What will Xuan drink when he comes back?" Aunt Lee gradually calmed down. "That's right, I can't get sick. Xuan still needs milk." My mom sighed in relief, looked at my dad, and the two rushed out to continue searching. Only 4 of us remained in the house. Grandma sat comforting Aunt Lee, then turned to scold Grandpa. "Why are you still sitting here? Go find your grandson." My grandpa coughed violently. "I'm not going. I'm seriously ill. How can I go out in the wind? Besides, this area is too big. I'll get lost as soon as I leave the house." Grandma glared. "Good riddance if you get lost forever." My grandpa indifferently turned his face away. In the past, Grandma would never have dared to speak like that, but now it was different. Grandpa was gravely ill, surviving only because of Grandma's care. Grandma softened her voice and said to Aunt Lee, "Zio Lee, let Mom stew some chicken soup for you to recuperate." Aunt Lee shook her head. "I'm not hungry, Mom, don't bother." My grandpa interjected, "You're not hungry, we are." "Be quiet." Grandma glanced at him and went to open the refrigerator. "Zio Lee, don't worry, who knows, perhaps this afternoon." Ah. A horrifying scream pierced the air. All of us rushed over. Xuan was curled up in the freezer, his whole body blue and frozen solid. Aunt Lee fainted, collapsing to the floor. "Zio Lee?" Grandma called for an ambulance while yelling at me. "Quick, go call your uncle home." I nodded. As I rushed out the door, I met Uncle, frantically climbing the stairs. "Uncle, come back quickly." Uncle froze when he saw the scene before him, tears streaming down his face. Why? Why is this happening? Is Xuan dead? Grandma hugged her grandson's body, crying hysterically. My grandpa suddenly scoffed, crawling towards Uncle. "Son, Xuan is dead. I only ask you one thing. Buy me some young goat meat to eat. That stuff cures all diseases. Save me, I don't want to die." Uncle's eyes widened and he roared, "What did you just say?" Uncle grabbed Grandpa's shirt and hit him hard. Grandma cursed, "You're the one who killed Xuan, you animal." Blood flowed from Grandpa's mouth. My grandpa stammered, "I didn't kill Xuan, I didn't do it. Don't talk nonsense with him. Call the police." Uncle snatched his phone and called the police. My grandpa pleaded, Xuan is my eldest grandson. How could I bear to harm my grandson? Why don't you believe me?" Uncle gritted his teeth. "Shut up." A few minutes later, an ambulance and police cars arrived. Aunt Lee was carried onto a medical stretcher. Uncle held Xuan's stiff body, wailing, "Save my child, please save my child." Uncle was overwhelmed by pain, suddenly coughed up blood, and then collapsed. Grandma walked and cried, "Oh my God, this family is truly ruined." We took both of them to the hospital. Although their physical health was fine, Uncle and Aunt Lee's spirits were utterly shattered. Aunt Lee's parents came to pick her up, declaring they would divorce once Aunt Lee recovered. A few days later, the murderer of Xuan was caught. It was Zhao Qiang from the village. He held a grudge against my grandpa, followed him when Grandpa went to the county town, and found Uncle's house. On that fateful night, he secretly drugged everyone in the house, climbed through the bathroom window, suffocated Xuan, and then put Xuan's body into the refrigerator. He originally intended to kill my grandpa, but the spare bedroom door was locked, so he couldn't. Upon learning the truth, Uncle went mad, sometimes crying, sometimes laughing, mumbling, young goat meat from Zhao Qiang's house." Grandma hugged Uncle, sobbing, "Son, I beg you to come to your senses. You must live a decent life." Uncle was as still as a wooden statue, his eyes staring blankly out the window. Grandma glared at Grandpa and shouted, "Get out! Go back to the village and die. Seeing you makes me sick." My grandpa coughed violently and retorted, Xuan's death isn't my fault. Fan Sheng is my biological son, I must stay to take care of him." Grandma stormed into the kitchen, pulled out a cleaver. "Are you going or not? If not, I'll stab you to death right now." My grandpa slunk away, carrying his bag back to the village. Grandma stayed in the county town to care for Uncle. My parents frequently came to help. Half a year later, my grandpa became gravely ill. According to Grandma, he wouldn't make it. The whole family went back to the village to bid him farewell. Grandpa's eyes were sunken, his whole body reeked of death. After half a year of treatment, Uncle recovered. Uncle held Grandpa's hand, sobbing. "Dad!" A withered smile bloomed on Grandpa's lips. "I still haven't tasted young goat meat." His breath faded. Uncle wailed tragically. "Dad." Due to his notorious reputation, Grandpa's funeral was deserted, with only family members and pallbearers taking him up the mountain for burial. From then on, Uncle stopped eating goat meat, gave his house to Grandma, and became a monk. Every holiday, we visit Uncle at the temple. Uncle lives strangely, wearing thin clothes in winter and thick clothes in summer, refusing to change despite anyone's advice. It seems Uncle is self-flagellating to atone for his sins.